to Billund Airport for a flight to London Heathrow on British Airways. It's only the second time that I'm flying with that airline. Last year, however, it was after a intercontinental flight with missed connections and delays and so on and so on. So I managed to sleep through the entire flight. So today's plan is not to sleep through the entire flight, but actually to experience what British Airways can offer on an inter-European connection. Yeah, and as I say, we're here in Billund. First step is to get rid of some luggage and then head through security. So to check in my luggage, I'm going to the automated machines. But as it turns out, the machine refers me to the manned desks. No problem, I prefer them anyways. But why I go to a machine to get my luggage tag, but then can't drop off my luggage at the automated machines made for just that is showing a lack of digital integration. However, this is not a BA specific problem, to be fair. Alright, we got through security. That was quite relaxing. Wasn't too busy today. So let's see where our gate is for today's flight. As I am a bit early, the gate isn't announced yet, but as we are flying to the UK, which means we are leaving Schengen and, well, the EU, our gate will be in the non-Schengen part of the terminal, which means gates 1 to 7. So we might as well start heading over there and check out the newly extended passport controls of the airport. This new part has actually been open for several months now, but the automated passport machines are yet to be opened. Who knows what the holdup is, but at busy times they sure would help speeding up things. Anyways, today isn't busy, so no issues here. British Airways offers several connections between Billund and London, and travellers have the option of flying to London Heathrow, as we are doing today, or to my favourite London airport, London City Airport. Boarding will begin shortly, and British Airways, as so many airlines nowadays, are boarding by assigned groups. They do, however, use quite a few more groups than I have experienced on other similar airlines like Lufthansa or KLM. As boarding starts, the various groups are called up, but Billund Airport ground staff once more appears to have an allergic reaction to the use of a PA system, and decides instead to shout into the departure hall, with the result that no customer is able to understand the instructions given. Alright, let's head to London. So welcome on board flight BA807, an Airbus A319 that will take us on the 1 hour and 15 minute flight to London Heathrow. Now, the interior of the plane looks quite alright, nothing majorly spectacular. There is sufficient space in the overheads if passengers observe the hand luggage rules. The seats look fairly comfortable and not quite as bare-boned as the seats offered by Lufthansa. The seat pitch is sufficient. You'll find a small pocket for storage. I particularly like the adjustable headrest, but there are no USB or power sockets available, even though the crew mentions them in their safety announcements. But BA has recently announced to install a new cabin on the airline's Airbus A320 Neos and 21neos, which do look like they will be featuring power supplies. If this also will be applied to the A319 fleet is however doubtful, which also means that you'll have to live with no Wi-Fi when traveling on BA's A319s. At your seat, you'll also find the onboard menu for onboard sales of meals, snacks, hot, cold, alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. And at first glimpse it looks fairly comprehensive, but why it can't quite deliver what it promises we'll get into once in the air. So for now, let's enjoy the ride and get started on our journey towards LHR. After a little while, we reach our cruising altitude and the seatbelt signs are switched off. This is also the cue for the crew to start the onboard service. There is a complimentary service which offers passengers a small bottle of water and the choice between a small savory or sweet snack. This is for sure a nice touch, but as this is a midday flight, I would want to get something a little more substantial to eat. For this, British Airways offers the so-called High Life Cafe, which, as mentioned, offers food and drinks for purchase. So why not go for a nice sandwich? Well, to the dismay of even the crew that also didn't understand the airline's policy, an 1 hour and 15-minute flight is apparently too short to be able to sell sandwiches. Apart from the fact that I couldn't find any mention of this restriction written anywhere in the menu, I honestly also can't understand this policy. I don't know of any other European airline with a similar service offering as British Airways that by choice would not sell sandwiches on flights at and around 75 minutes flight time. And just to be clear, we are not talking about a food item that would need to be heated. So thanks to British Airways, I'll be skipping lunch for today, except for the soft drink, and as I had no other options, a small bag of olives. If 1 can of Sprite and in total 8 olives are worth £4.30, I'll let you decide. While the crew performs admirable during the service rounds, it is a bit strange that at no time during the flight any trash is collected. But that put aside, the flight overall remains fairly enjoyable and is about to get much better, as flying to London Heathrow, depending on the wind directions of course, can offer some spectacular views over the city of London during approach to LHR. Despite a on-time touchdown, we do reach the final parking position with a slight delay as we had to wait for the gate to be free. BA's product doesn't differentiate much from the offerings of so many other European airlines, which means there is no particular reason not to fly with them, but I also don't feel like there is a strong incentive to choose them over other airlines, to be honest. In this case, the ticket fare was reasonable and the convenience of a direct flight made the difference for me as to why I chose this flight. But I feel like airlines, and this is very much a general critique and not directed specifically at British Airways, need to do more to really sharpen their profile as to actually have noticeable differences in their product. But the topic of if and how much airlines nowadays really differ from each other is perhaps best left for another day. Overall, this flight was fairly enjoyable, with the highlight being the approach over London City, although this of course also isn't a BA exclusive. So I managed to get through immigration. Yeah, not the worst flight for sure that I've had so far. A bit strange, however, with the 1 hour 15 minutes flight being too short to serve sandwiches, but okay, not a major issue. I'm sure I can find something to eat somewhere else. But with that, I'll just try to figure out where to get my luggage, and then I'll head out. And hopefully, if the weather permits, be doing some spotting here at Heathrow. Those videos will also be on the channel sometime in the future, so keep an eye out for them. For now, thanks so much for joining me here on this trip. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have, and hope to see you in another trip very soon here on the channel.